So the next part of this endeavour is I have to create a dragon head for the bow, and here it is. That's what it looks like, and I'm going to make it by sandwiching pieces of wood together to make up that image. So the first thing I had to do was to make some photocopies, and then what I'll do is transfer them onto wood, and I'll cut them out with a coping saw. So we'll do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to tack these two pieces together just with a couple of little nails because I don't want them moving as I'm cutting them out. There we go. They are not going to move. There we go, now I can start cutting it out with a coping saw. At this stage of the project, you really want to get your cutting as close to the edge of your bench as you possibly can, because you don't want too much wobble in the timber. If it wobbles too much or catches, you could snap the timber and that would cause problems. So try to keep your cutting edge as close to the edge of your bench as you possibly can. Okay, so for this figurehead, I'm using two of the best timbers in Australia. This is West Australian Jarrah. It's a beautiful woodworking timber. And this is Huon pine from Tasmania. A bit hard to see that, I think, but and this is arguably one of the best timbers in the world for boat building. It has a high oil content, so it won't rot or worm won't attack it. An absolute beautiful wood. I can't think of a nicer project to use it on, so I will. So now we're talking about, maybe an hour of very detailed sanding into these little grooves and things to make it smooth. I'll use anything I can to achieve this: sandpaper. I'll even use a metal file to get into those little corners and really smooth it up. The more time you spend, the better end result you'll get. For the central bit, I could cut out the shape with an electric jigsaw, but the only trouble with that is it burns the wood as you're going around the tighter corners. So I've got to sand that off. But at the moment I'm just putting a beveled edge all the way around. Okay, so now it's just a matter of sort of sanding the edges and tidying it up a little bit. I'm not going to go too far into it because it is purely decorative, so we'll just tidy it up and then start gluing it together. Okay, so now that I've got all the bits sanded to a reasonable standard, I can glue them into place. You'll notice that I made the base, the centre piece, a little bit bigger than these panels, the side panels. That's just for effect, but I can glue this down now. So I'm just using a PVA glue. I'll clamp it into place and let it set overnight. I'll let that set and do the other side tomorrow. And here's the end result. That will go on to the bow of the Viking ship and sink in a river somewhere in Australia.